Seasons wheel across the sky, and through many of these moons, I don't always feel in absolute alignment with my purpose on earth. But when I'm alone, in struggles, and in moments of tears and pain, I know that my spirit is here to help others feel protected from that pain and transform it into the peace of knowing that we are all okay. The ancient mother whispers in my ears, all this is as impermanent as those angel dusts appearing magically over the frosted, sparkling earth.
My name is Wasfia Nazreen. I was born, raised, and based here in Bangladesh. But, it always bothered me that when I went abroad and I said where I was from, either people didn't even know where that was. Like last month, I was in Alaska, and the hotel woman at the reception, she signed me in as Wasfia Bangladesh. So I gave her my passport, and I said, that's not my last name, that's my country. And she said, really? Very honestly and sincerely, she apologized and said, that must be a new country. And existing for 42 years on this planet, it's obviously very painful to hear things like that. And when they do know of Bangladesh, the first thing is, you guys get so many floods every year. And yes, all that is true, despite all the man-made and natural disasters, despite the slow economic growth, all the politics, corruption, blah, 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 negativities that international media hails us for. I think Bangladesh has come a long way in the last 40 years. And when Bangladesh was approaching 40 years, 2 years ago, I felt this really like frustration to somehow portray my country in the positive light out there on the planet. And like many of the youth before me continues to inspire people through their work. I knew a little bit of climbing, not that much, and I thought that maybe all of us, if every one of us did whatever we could do best, did the best of it, in our small, in our limited resources, then our country wouldn't fall behind. So with that aspiration, and to me personally, I think given that we come from a predominantly Muslim patriarchal society, where our women have come in the last 40 years is something to celebrate. So I set out to climb the highest mountains of every continent in celebration of that. And reaching the summit of every continent, it's popularly known as the 7 summits. Overall, 37 women have achieved that feat over the last 30 years or so, whereas 450 men have done it. But obviously, these kind of expeditions required a lot of training, and sorry. Required a lot of training, a lot of funding, a lot of gears, and even on one mountain, you would have to face so many different terrains and so many different types of weather. It's not just one skill you learn. Like here, I'm doing ice masonry. I've never done masonry in my life. You do that to build walls, to protect your tents from wind. And, none of that I had in 2 years ago, but I had a very powerful tool, and that was my willingness, my will to believe. So with that will, I set out, and there was another connection here, and I would like to read out an excerpt from my upcoming book that connects the dots. Humans can be very deceiving. I get more scared walking the streets of Dhaka than when I'm being cradled by these mountains and valleys. During the quest of my mind seeking wisdom and my spirit striving to find itself in its highest form amidst this cruel, crazy, beautiful world, nature has never broken my trust. I have never trusted any other entity as much as I have trusted myself with nature. If we're true, with the mother. She will cradle us till our last breath. We come from nature. We're the daughters and sons of this earth. We're not meant to be in these constructions of steel and metal. We're meant to run through enchanted forests, chasing million drops of water through a million leaves. So in order to bring that balance back in this continuously growing patriarchal regime, there has to be shifts in energy towards the divine feminine by tapping into the yin force amongst all of us, male or female, which this gentrified society makes us forget ever so often. Out there, you have to face all kinds of extremities. For example, carrying up to 80 kilos on sharp ridges like this, to exposing yourself to various elements that can destroy a lot of your limbs. You're fighting with things like high altitude cerebral edema, pulmonary edema, brain damages. It's not a touristic visit at all. And end of it all, when you see your country's flag for the first time on top of Mount Vincent, the highest mountain in Antarctica. My parents didn't even know that there were mountains in Antarctica. It makes up for all the sufferings that you have to go through. And I've been very blessed to experience a lot of these amazing phenomena that nature gives us and the environment, such as these. But I had to pay a price, and the most recent one was when I got stuck on Denali in a storm for 2 weeks, which is considered an Arctic climb, and yes, that's my finger. And before I could come down of the mountain, because the weather window wasn't opening, allowing us to go down or up, and I had to come down with all the load, and by that time I've already shredded my finger. And we tried our level best to save it. We had 3 surgeries on it so far, but still I don't have senses back on. It's a permanent damage. So the doctor has given me 5 months to figure out if I want to amputate it, get a wooden or plastic finger, or I actually told him I want a Wolverine claws if I'm going to get anything at all. And my family is still, making jokes. You're never getting married anyway, and of all the fingers that you had to get a frostbite on, had to be your ring finger. Good luck getting married. Anyway, but jokes aside, this was actually, it took me a long time to accept it, but this was nature's way of protecting me. Had I not gotten this, I would have probably rushed through that storm in order to get that summit. And people have died out there. I've lost many of my friends. I've lost my tent mate. And God knows, maybe worst of the worst could have happened. So before we go to the next topic, we're going to go through a video. This is a graphic composite that is using 3-dimensional optical satellite data. It is sourced from German Aerospace Center and allows, just to give you a magnitude of what the Big Mama looks like. And this was the route we took through Everest. Over a 2-month course just to go up. loudest of the universe. So just to show you, Everest can be climbed from both Nepal and Tibet side. I chose the harder route, which is the Nepal side. And that's my route up here. And that's the base camp, what it looks like. Apparently they spotted that flag from space. It was so big. But from here onwards, I would like to read out a little bit from my book as well. I've been walking for over 2 months now. Finally, I stood at dead zone, where I've never been before. It felt almost like the meeting ground of everything that was alive and everything that was or could be dead. Every step to reach up here felt like a million years, gasping for more and more breath. Arriving here, I could feel 100 whispers of departed souls. Estimates say there are more than 250 bodies hidden in this area that were left for the dead in this cold, some buried, some lost. Altitude sickness takes on fatal faces at this level. Our bodies start consuming itself. There is no cell production, as it is more efficient at this altitude for the body to use stored energy sources than to digest new food. Thus, most climbers here have a completely stopped digestive system or a significantly slowed down process. Sleeping is quite impossible and has proven fatal in the past when a number of climbers slipped into the land of no return while they were only dreaming. Staring at the summit from the last camp to the top of the world, all I wondered was whether I would be able to reach up there. All I wanted right now lied on the other side of fear. And here, we've already entered dead zone here, which is above 26,000 feet. And if you see, that's the summit, that's the trail, and they're doing an evacuation of a body. And it's really difficult to get bodies down from there. This is the last night, the last approach to the summit, and you can see here the traffic jam. Up in front of me was also traffic jam. It's like Walmart up there. But throughout my climb to reach the summit, because we climbed through the night, that's me in the front, I had no idea that I had 2 options to die in. If I fell on my right, I would die in Tibet. If I fell on my left, I would die in Nepal. This is the last 50 meters to the summit. I've already reached the summit. This is taken by my Sherpa friend, Punchok. And this is the famous Hillary step, but this is just to show you that this last bit is the exposed ridge of Everest, where also you can choose which side you want to die in, right, Tibet, left, Nepal. And at the same place, just 2 days, on 20th May, 4 days before I climbed, this was the weather condition. These are taken by my friend Garrett, just to show you the different adversities, because everything there is unpredictable. Everest gives you a reason to give up every moment. Being able to reach the top of the world, crossing so many hurdles, over a 3-month-long journey was like facing the Mother Goddess in all her might, all alone by myself. Sitting up here, I felt tinier than a bug leeching on the expansive stretch of these Himalayan gods and goddesses. I felt an intense amount of respect and love for the courage and dedication my ancestors have gifted me to guide truth in my heart. I felt the intensities of all the turmoil we have felt in the past and are yet to feel beyond the ambivalent distance of all misfortunes and miscommunication. Our beautiful spinning earth, birthing us all, and what a waste we spend our short borrowed time out here fighting away. All these climbs were infused with a lot of prayer. And reaching the summit of not only Everest but any other mountains, being able to come down safely, or witnessing the sun rise from the top of the world, I realized the potent transformation one can achieve through sincere searching of one's own truth. On the summit, I felt so grateful that it made me feel I was connected to every single human being out there, though my heart stood all alone. I saw my life flash over me and felt my people tiptoeing through my dreams. And up there, everything is like a dream state. Because of hypoxia, you feel drunk all the time. The only thing I could hear was the blood rush and the sound of my own breath against the oxygen mask when I was wearing it. But it was like hearing, most importantly, it was like hearing your own heartbeats and feeling 1,000 others where I was alive in my prayers and I in theirs, aspiring for a better world. All those last slides were of dead bodies. I had to cross 7 of them in total. And I just want to add a few lines here because Yamin made fun of me. Where is he? You can never conquer Mother Nature. And I don't like it when media portrays any news about mountaineers. She has conquered, the summit of South America. If anything, Mother Nature has conquered us. We have only submitted to her. And I will finish up with on a good note, this phenomenon happens only during a certain time during sunrise and sunset over Everest or other big mountains like Everest, where it looks like a triangular reflection of Everest, but Everest is not triangle. It's just an optical illusion. When the sun falls on a particular angle, it produces this phenomenon I was lucky enough, that's the 4th highest mountain on the world, Lhotse, and this is from the top while going down, and that's the magnificent, Himalayas. Thank you so much.